In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet your very own cell phone cozy. Coming up next. Hi there, I'm Diette, and welcome to Turtle Creativity, where we make crafting and crocheting easy. I am so excited. Let me tell you why. Because today I'm going to share with you a tutorial on how to create this cell phone cozy. I had so much fun creating this, and I'm so very excited to share this tutorial with you. Now, the things that you would need to recreate this cell phone cozy is some yarn. I am using Red Heart Super Saver yarn, my go-to yarn. You will also need a crochet hook. The size crochet hook that I'll be using for this project is a size H. You'll also need a yarn needle, some scissors, some space markers, some buttons, and a tape measure. Let's get crocheting. So first things first, let me share with you 3 crochet skills that you would need to know in order to recreate this cell phone cozy. You would need to know how to chain, single crochet, and how to do a slip stitch. Now, also I would like for you to know that the pattern for this cell phone cozy is listed in the description below. I'm going to go ahead and take the cell phone out of the cozy. This is actually Jasmine's cell phone. So, what I will need to do first is you will need to measure the cell phone in which you are creating your cell phone cozy for. So Jasmine's cell phone is 3 inches by 6 inches. Now, if you do not have the cell phone nearby of the person who you're creating this cell phone cozy for, what you can always do is just ask them what cell phone they have, and you can always look it up online, the dimensions of that cell phone. Now that we know the width and the height of our cell phone, we now can begin crocheting. So I'm going to roll up my sleeves just a little and get my yarn together, create a slip knot, and I'm actually going to move my measuring tape so that as I'm chaining, I can go ahead and compare the chains that I create to my measuring tape with the size of the width of my cell phone. So, I wind up chaining about 1 inch more than the original measurements of Jasmine's cell phone. But it's okay to have a little bit wiggle room just in case Jasmine decides to put on a hard shell case with her cell phone. So now what we're going to do is we're going to skip the first chain, and in the second chain from the hook, we're actually going to put 3 single crochets in this same hook. Let's do that now. Now what you're going to do is single crochet in each one of the next chain space except for the last one. So on that last chain, we're not going to put a single crochet in there. We're actually going to put 3 single crochets in that last hook. So let's go ahead and chain all the way till you get to your last chain, and then we'll do that one together. Now that we're at the last chain, we're going to go ahead and put 3 single crochets in that last chain space. 1, 2, 3. Now go ahead and turn your work. Now you're on the opposite end of your chains, and you're actually going to put a single crochet all the way down this chain. And I'll meet you when we get to the end. Now that we're at the end, you're just going to slip stitch to that first chain space. Now what we're going to do is work in rounds. This is where you will need your stitch marker. So I'm going to pick purple. Now, if you do not have a stitch marker like this, you can always use a safety pin or just cut off a scrap piece of yarn in a different color to mark your space. Once you do your scrap piece of yarn, you just tie it at that beginning chain space, and that will also identify your marking of where you start and end your stitches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a single crochet in each chain space. We're going to continue working around and around until we get the height of your cell phone. Now, I'm going to do a few with you, and I actually already have a cell phone cozy ready for the next step once you get your cell phone height. Okay, so now that you have crocheted the height of your cell phone, we are now ready to change colors. So for my color change, I'm going to use this light pink. For the color change, I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to pull that through, pull down on my existing dark pink, and then I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into the next one and pull through. All right, so in order to get these spikes, what you're going to do is you're going to put a single crochet in each additional chain, but not the very next chain. You're going to actually skip down and go to a chain below your current chain. So let me show you exactly what I mean. So instead of putting your hook in the next space, which would be here, you're actually going to put your hook below that. So insert your hook, pull through, single crochet. Now going on to the next space, you see automatically it's created that little spike peak look. So let's continue on. Let's do another one together. Insert below, not this one, but below it, pull up, single crochet. Okay, let's do another one together. Insert below the current space, pull up, single crochet. Let's continue around, and I'll meet you when you get towards the end. All right, I have done my last single crochet, and what I'm going to do is slip stitch into the first chain space. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a single crochet in each chain space. Let's begin. Now what we're going to do is change colors. Now I have not cut off my main color as of yet. If you wanted to actually pick up your color, you could go ahead and do that and slip through and do a slip stitch. But what I like to do is I actually like to cut off when I change colors. And I will tie that off. I will sew in that in and tie that off in just a few. But we're going to start our next few rows. So we have 1, 2, 3 more that we need to do in our main color. So I'm going to do a loop, pull through down our existing color. And so now we're going to put a single crochet in each of the following stitches. We're actually going to do 3 rows of this, and I'll meet you when you get towards the end. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to weave in my ends. So I'm just going to take my hook and I'm going to pull all of the ends in. Kind of scrunch it up so I can get down to the end, and I'm going to pull this tail in as well. Okay, so I'm actually going to flip my cozy inside out because I'm going to sew in my tails. So taking your yarn needle, go ahead and sew in your tails. With your tails all sewed in, you can now flip your cozy back the correct way. Smooth it out. All right, so now I'm going to add a button. I'm going to go with the white one. And I'm going to use the light pink yarn. And when doing this, you want to make sure that your yarn needle is able to easily go through your button holes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make a knot at the end of my yarn. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and sew on my button onto our cell phone cozy. Once your button is secure, you can now tie your yarn together and cut your tails. Now to create our latch, I did this by actually braiding this together. You can either take 2 or 3 strands of yarn and you can braid it together, or you can take 2 or 3 yarns and you can actually do a chain. So what I'm going to do is that will be enough. I'm going to cut one of the light pink and I want 2 of the dark. So I'm going to go ahead and make a knot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate this by doing a braid. So what I'm going to do now is actually do a little check to see if I have braided enough. So I'm going to look to put one end just below where the little spikes are. And I'm going to wrap it around my buttonhole and then wrap it back around. So yes, I do in fact have enough. So right there, I'm going to actually take out a few of my braids. And now I'm going to go ahead and make a knot. And I'm just going to do another knot just to be secure. I'm actually going to cut the tails on the other side so it could be even. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attach our little latch to our cozy. So how I'm going to do that is where the button is, I'm going to place the ends just like on the outside of the button. On the other side of the cozy, slip my hook in and pull the little knot through. We're going to do the same thing for the other side. Insert my hook in, grabbing the other end of my latch and pull it through. Now I'm going to flip down, and these tails I'm going to weave in. So once you've weaved in all of your ends, you can go ahead and flip your cozy right side out. Smooth it out. You can go ahead and take your latch and put it over top of your button. And there we have it, our Crochet Cozy cell phone case. I'll see you in the next one, and subscribe for more.